Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Philip, and I'm going to talk today about infrastructure monitoring, and we will put our focus on hosts. We will cover some basic concepts, some basic terminology, where you can find everything, how you can educate yourself about it, and how easily you can navigate through our pages. So let's start with simple agenda. So I was thinking first going through documentation overview to show you where you can find all the information. After that, we will jump to demo in our demo tenant, where I will show you where you can find all the hosts, how to navigate over there. And we will go through health of the host, where you can see all necessary information, what you can use in your daily troubleshooting maybe. And we will put the most of the focus into host settings, where you can adapt your settings to your needs. At the end, we will do just a brief summary of everything. So first, let's go to our documentation page, where you can find all necessary information about hosts. So here, if you navigate to our documentation under Solutions, Infrastructure Observability, and under Hosts, you will find this page. This page will help you to get basic concepts, how to configure some stuff. You will learn more about monitoring and a bit of diagnostics. In today's session, we're going to cover some of these topics. We will not go too deeply into a particular topic. That could be a session for itself. Today, we just going to do basic introduction. So let's jump to our demo environment to show you over there how you can find your hosts. So if you have a new view, you can easily search for hosts. You will be able to find them here. Since I opened it recently, I have it here as well, but you can pin it to your dock over here, so it can always be available to you. After clicking on hosts, all your hosts will be listed here. And you can easily filter through them. Of course, if you have one or two, you will be fine. But of course, you can also have environment with hundreds or even thousands of hosts. And it could be useful for you to use some of the filters. And on the side, you can see how you can do it. You can also search for them here in this search bar. So when you find your host, for example, let's go some random one here, you will be able to see all information about it. So first, icon will indicate what operating system it's running on. You will see the name, and also important thing, which monitoring mode it is. In this case, it's full stack, which host group it belongs, and management zone as well. So if you are not familiar with host groups and management zones, I encourage you to explore that as well. It will help you to organize your environment. It will help you to manage everything, even deploy OneAgents if necessary, how to update everything, and how to restrict some access. So check that out if you aren't already. Here we can see properties and tags. On the side, it will open some window with tags. You can add the new ones, but also you can see all important information regarding this host. From some data centers, CPU units, IP address, some names, architecture, and so on. So definitely something you should check out if you're first time seeing the host. Next to that, you will see some related problems if there are any. If you have application security enabled, you will see vulnerabilities as well, availability, SLOs, and some others. Below, you can see some facts about your host. And below this, you will see different tiles. These tiles should provide you the most important information about your host. We will go through each tile, and I will let you know how you can easily filter some things, how you can navigate around it. But it's quite basic. And if you get lost in all this information, on the right-hand side, you will be able to see a menu where you can easily navigate through it. So first we see host performance, and every tile has this option to pick the metric you are most interested in, and it will be saved. And you can pick aggregation as well. After you pick, for example, CPU usage, and you see how this moving through graph is interactive. Every graph on this page is moving according to this one I'm showing you here. And you can easily ping it to dashboard or even explore further in Data Explorer. And that's the same for all the tiles here. So below that, you will find process analysis. Here you can see how much each process or process group is consuming some resources in this case, CPU usage, could be connectivity or something else. Same as above, you can adapt it to your view however you want. And below that, you will see interesting information where each of the processes or process groups will be listed, some technology related to it, and the metrics selected above. And from this point, you can jump further into details and analyze everything further. So for now, we will close this view as well, and let's continue further. Here you will see some process instances snapshots. I don't have it currently for my demo, but they will be listed here with additional info. One of the important things for host is, of course, disk. And here you can see disk analysis. It will be shown in these graphs over here, as well as listed below, where you can dig further through these links here. You can expand it for one particular disk to see all the metrics available. Next thing is network analysis. You can pick, of course, as above, different metrics related to network. And we can immediately notice here some anomaly, definitely. And memory analysis is the next point. Let's move this. So here, the same situation as above, we can see different metrics available to us. So this is not meant for super troubleshooting. It's just something to give you feel what's the status with your host currently. And I believe this page is really good at it. Events are something quite useful to have an overview of it. You get event, name of it, timestamp, which is really important, and some classification, some groupings. And if you're interested in some event, you can expand this and see more information about it. And of course, logs as one of the most important things in our monitoring, they will be available here to you. If you see some interesting logs, for example, this one with error and all others, you can expand it and see it, okay, this is maybe card number was not valid. It could be useful for you, of course. And below you will see other information, how it's related to topology, some important, for example, log event, log source, and so on. And I believe that's it from this view. I hope you find it really useful. I do, and I often use it. Here on our left-hand side, you will find 3 small dots. This will enable us to go further. Of course, you can share this host. Basically, it will send the URL you have at the top. You will see to go to classic page. Classic page is a bit older view. We can check it out. Maybe you already have enabled it, but we encourage you to switch to new one because it provides more information really easily and nicely displayed. So we will just jump back to new host page and we will be back where we started. So next point is analyze process connections. I'm not going into this right now. We will spend most of the time in our settings page. As I mentioned before, this host could belong to one of the host groups. And here you can jump quickly to host group settings for this particular host. I definitely encourage you to explore host groups. It will help you to optimize your Dynatrace experience. If you're not familiar with Smartscape, that's basically topology, and it's showing how everything is related to each other through full stack view. And with this option here, you will see how your host is doing in that infrastructure, in that full stack view, and you will easily understand dependencies between different entities. You can analyze from here process crashes, memory dump details, and as I mentioned, you can run diagnostics. These are basically logs, and you can definitely find some additional information on some issues or connectivity problems and so on. But we will not go through this today. So let's jump to settings. I will open different settings here where it's loaded. So we have host name. We can change it if we want. For first part, host monitoring, we will see some basic information. If you ever get lost, or if all these categories are overwhelming for you, you can always go to docs. Let me show you this. So you have host level settings, exactly where we are right now in our tenant. And you will see how each category in our host, from host monitoring, container technologies, disk options, and so on, is available here. So if you ever get lost, you don't know what to do, you can quickly jump to documentation and continue to understand everything. So first, for host monitoring, you can decide to monitor this host and if you're going to use auto injection. Next, we have container technologies. So with this, you enable or disable automatic injection of code modules into specific container available to you. We have a lot of categories here, and I was thinking just going briefly through all this. Some of them are more important than others, of course, so we will spend a bit more time over there, like anomaly detection, OneAgent updates, and log monitoring. Disks are important for us, and you can exclude certain disks here. You can add item and select operating system, for example, Linux in this case, and you can put your disk path or mount point here. If you're not sure what to do here, you always have some brief description that will help you to navigate through all this. So we have net traced traffic. We have also exclude network traffic if you want to. You can exclude NIC or IPs because OneAgent automatically detects and monitors all of your network traffic. But if you want, you can exclude some of it on specific network interfaces or hosts from monitoring. Here you will see detected processes. And in my case, I have some of them here, but of course, for your host, you will see it differently. You can manage them from here. For process group monitoring, you can enable or disable certain process groups on this host. You will be able to select, for example, process group and decide do you want to monitor it or not. And you have also process group detection flags. You can ignore versions, for example. You can use different possibilities. I was not planning to go through all this, just wanted to let you know that you have this possibility with Dynatrace. You can also use declarative process grouping. You can add different technology, for example, because Dynatrace automatically monitor process groups that are known, for example, Java or something else. but that could consume significant resources. And with declarative process grouping, you can automatically monitor additional technologies. And this you can configure here. And this is on this particular host, but you can also use setting for your environment. So you have process availability. With this, you can monitor and decide at least one process matching to configure it on your running host. So if no process running on your host matching the rule, you will receive an alert. So you can add monitoring rule, you can put some name, and you can set detection rule. You will see how in your processes, for example, you can use command line arguments or AXA path, and you can see how you can define them here. You will always find some instruction in this documentation. But again, if you don't understand some part, you can quickly jump to our documentation page, select that section, and read more about it. So here we, as we mentioned, we have process instance snapshots. We can enable this, and we can set reported process limit. So we have again here business analytics, but one important thing is anomaly detection. First, we have infrastructure. Here you have different settings for this particular host. You can alert on graceful host shutdown or don't, but you can detect when your CP saturation is really high. So often, when we have our configuration on automatic, Dynatrace will take care of it when it recognizes some patterns which considers that should be reported. But you can also customize these settings, and based on that, you can put different thresholds here and adjust it to your needs. Right now, I will just return to automatic. And you can have this for high system load, high memory usage. You can detect high number of drop packets for network, for example, detect network errors. And always you can do this based on custom settings. One important thing I would like to mention is that all the settings available here are available to you through API. So here you will find information how you can do it via API, and quickly you get everything filled for you. You will also find schema info, which you can use for configuration. One really cool thing is that you can open Playground. I have to discard changes. You can open Playground and see how everything is going, how you can configure it quickly, experiment a bit. So it's really interesting thing to do. Sorry. And let's return to the setting. So for disks, you can also do your custom setting, and you can define, for example, different threshold, percentage, and so on. You can do this for low window numbers available, and also set the percentage of it. And you can dive into a particular disk if you like. So let's jump to OneAgent updates. This could be really important for you. You can configure this as many other settings on host level, but you can go also to environment level, and it will be applied to all hosts or host groups. So you can do automatic updates on earliest convenience during maintenance windows, or no automatic updates at all. And here you can pick version of it, and we encourage you to use always latest version of OneAgent, and more description here about each version is available, where you can see what they meant by those names here. With Dynatrace, you can also monitor OS services, but first you have to add policy. Here you define a rule name, you decide if you're gonna monitor, if you want alerts about it, and here you put your condition and alerting delay. You can add additional rules with property and condition type. Now I'm not going into each setting here because we are a bit out of time here, but just wanted to let you know that this is available for you. We have extension execution controller here. You can enable it, of course, but that's it, nothing much here. Log monitoring could be important for us. First, we have OneAgent configuration regarding logs. And here you can customize your log monitoring. You can put different detection rules. You can see where you would like to detect your logs. You can specify some thresholds. So this is something where you should really put some focus on if you're interested in logs. And if Dynatrace is not recognizing, for example, some processes which are really important for you, logs, you can also add custom log source. And here you can put logpad, and Dynatrace will cover that for you. If you are interested in a log storage configuration, this is where you add your roles. So you want, for example, to include some logs into storage or exclude them, so you can maybe save your license consumption. So you add matcher and you select what kind of matcher you would like to have. So for example, you can take log record level with value of none, for example, and now we will not include into storage all logs with log record level none. Often they're not that much useful, so with this you can save some money and some license consumption. So next we have sensitive data masking. This is a global setting. I believe it will redirect me. Yes, and you can activate it. I encourage you to explore this documentation page here to learn more about it before actually activating it, so you can get familiar with all the features out of it. And you can do timestamp configuration. Here you can add rule and adjust timestamps, put some threshold, time zone, and matchers as well. And with this, I believe we are at the end. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for watching this and learning more about Dynatrace infrastructure monitoring. I hope you enjoyed, and see you in the next one. Bye.